Welcome to Decision 2010. Last Thursday, we held the second and final presidential debate of the 2010 election. In order to report on the debate, we decided to air our sixth newscast this week. Unlike the last debate, not all the candidates were present. Andrew Weber was absent because of the makeup AP Calc exam, and Matt Barmeo missed because of the mock accident. Barmeo had a really bad campaign week. He missed Monday's class and Thursday's debate, and he'll need to make up a lot of speeches, press conferences, commercials if he wants to really remain a top contender for the presidency.
Candidate Weber could afford to miss the debate more so than Barmeo, but this debate was a key opportunity for the voters to be able to understand the candidates' views on the less publicized topics. Both candidates are expected to answer the questions that were asked on Thursday, so the voters will still be able to hear what they have to say.
I was happy to see the candidates talk about something other than healthcare and the economy. Abortion, gun control, illegal immigration, and the death penalty are all more controversial topics, so naturally the candidates have stubborn and opposing views. Some of the candidates, namely Scott Perkins and Joe Doyle, have extremely opposing views on pretty much everything. I think the audience really enjoyed watching these two candidates go back and forth, arguing literally about everything from abortion to the bizarro worlds of armed robberies.
With the exception of Perkins, all of the candidates are pro-life with a few exceptions. Nicole White, speechwriter of the Corner Party, asked the question that really got the candidates to evaluate their position on the subject. She said, "If a woman with AIDS or a medical condition became pregnant and did not want to pass on the illness to her child, should she be allowed to have an abortion?" Otto and Johnson are both pro-life, but said that in that case, the expecting mother should be allowed to have an abortion. Scott Perkins said that only in the first trimester abortion would be allowed, while Doyle stuck to his platform and said that she should have been more careful to not get pregnant and could always give up the baby for adoption. I'm not sure how giving up the baby for adoption solves the problem posed by the question. A child is still born with a medical condition whether it is raised by the biological mother or not.
I really think that Doyle had some problems in this debate, particularly with what he said. I'm not really sure if he always thought about what he was going to say, and it's really evident at this point that saying that a baby is going to be given up for adoption completely solves the problem. That's not a solution. The baby will still have AIDS or whatever medical condition, and I don't think that he should have said that. Also, I don't think Scott Perkins should have said, well, the baby's going to die in 10 years, because that's kind of mean, and you don't know what the medical condition is, and you shouldn't assume that the baby is going to die in 10 years, because isn't the hope of everyone to have medical progress so that babies don't die in 10 years? During the abortion segment of the debate, the question of when life begins came up. Is it at conception, delivery, or sometime in between? No scientist can really give a definitive answer that is acceptable to all of academia. This question, I think, is really at the center of the whole abortion controversy, because it really asks, can you kill something that is not technically alive? And since no one can answer that, it's hard to say whether or not abortion is murder or whether or not it's just a medical surgery. It was suggested during the debate by multiple candidates that once a fetus can feel pain, that it is alive and should not be aborted. We just wanted to say that we thought it was good that the candidates talked about it, because it's good to know and it's good to be informed. The second topic of the debate was gun control. The question raised by the reporters was the candidates' view on ammunition versus gun control. The candidates pretty much split evenly. Johnson and Otto to ammunition control, while Perkins and Doyle approved gun control. Both sides supported their view with their own opinions, and as Johnson said, how many bullets do you need? I mean, how bad of a shot are you?
As questions came from the audience, the battle between the candidates got more heated. Once again, Perkins and Doyle argued over the topic. Scott Perkins asked a question that was meant for all the candidates. What if you have a gun collection and someone comes and tries to steal it? The conversation that followed was even more bizarro than the bizarro world they were talking about. As it continued, it seemed that the only point of their argument was to argue. They lost the point of their question.
Like I said, I think the audience got a real kick out of Perkins and Doyle arguing over everything. Candidate Otto and candidate Johnson kind of seemed to get drowned out during the Perkins-Doyle argument, and only once they were stopped by us did they really get to say their opinions. So, sorry, Otto and Johnson, but what can you do? It's a debate.
Candidate Otto was definitely the most knowledgeable about this topic. He corrected many of the questions that were asked by the audience, explaining that certain weapons couldn't be owned legally by anyone outside the military, even for collection. Otto also made the comment about a database that kept track of what kinds of weapons people had and what they were using it for, along with how much ammunition they purchased each year. That is until the confusion of Perkins' questions, where he said that a robber putting a gun to your head and telling you to open your gun safe only happened in a fairyland. However, candidate Johnson was the only one who answered the question legitimately, saying that he would have the police contacted so that they could track down the dangerous criminal.
The next up was illegal immigration, and I thought it was kind of sad that Matt Barmayo had to miss this debate. I'm guessing he would have liked to have the opportunity to clear up his task force idea announced during his recent press conference.
Perkins had an easier time getting his point across in this segment. No battles against Doyle this time. He wanted to make the process of becoming a citizen easier, as well as increase border control. He also introduced a new idea to this debate, one that I agree with. Perkins said that there should be an electronic database for those with green cards. Those people should also be issued a less valuable secondary card so that they don't have to carry around an actual green card.
I think the idea of the secondary card was actually introduced by Otto, but Perkins agreed with him. Doyle was alone in his stance on illegal immigration. He stated that he was for the Arizona law mandating that immigrants carry their green cards with them at all times. When asked, he said that he was against issuing the secondary card because people should be responsible enough to carry around their green card itself. I think Doyle puts too much faith in people and their responsibility. I mean, that's sometimes a good thing, but this is just too much. Not everyone is perfect to never lose anything, especially their wallets. Sorry if you don't lose anything, Doyle, but a lot of people lose a lot of things that are important to them. That can't be helped. It's going to happen.
Otto, directly opposing Doyle, came out against the Arizona law and in favor of issuing a card similar to a driver's license that would serve as a secondary green card. He hoped that this would help people be less worried about losing their green card and having to wait for a new one. He compared it to someone losing a passport in a foreign country. They would be left without proof of their identity. I don't know who prepares Otto for his debates or if he researches all the information himself, but Otto always comes to the debates with a lot of facts. For example, he made a point saying that 5% of the population was doing 25% of the crime, and that 5% being illegal immigrants.
Johnson had basically the same position on illegal immigration as Otto, but other than that, he didn't get to say much as the other candidates. I guess he really isn't one for those fancy words. And, sometimes he doesn't know what he's talking about, but that's okay. He makes us laugh.
The last portion of the debate was the death penalty. Otto and Johnson have the same view on the death penalty. It's only acceptable in the case of a particularly heinous crime and when there is a definite guilty ruling. It was brought up that supporting the death penalty when the defendant is 100% guilty is impractical. There are very few instances in which a person can be deemed guilty without any question, like if they are caught on camera committing the crime.
Johnson had some problems answering the audience questions, which he openly acknowledged. I think it would be safe to say that the death penalty confuses Johnson as much as the economy does.
Perkins simply said that he was against the death penalty. There are multiple reasons for his belief. 1, it is not right for the government to decide who lives and who dies. And 2, it costs the government too much taxpayer money to keep the prisoners on death row. Doyle stated that he is for the death penalty. When asked by Joe Morris, advertiser of the Corner Party, why the government was allowed to take away someone's life, but not to tax soda, Doyle said that a person has the choice to commit a crime and should know the consequences. They don't have the choice to drink soda?
Thank you for watching Decision 2010. We only have one more newscast, which will be shown this week. Good luck with the rest of your campaign. Bye!